Yo, what is this medicine you're speaking of?
Medicine, I just feel like women are like so empowered right now, and we're really talking that a little bit. You know what I mean? So we're standing up for ourselves, and I feel like for me, whenever I hear a record, first off, it's about the music and the beat and the kind of melody. But then I always zero into the lyrics, because if there's not something I really want to sing on there, or I feel like every girl wants to sing, or every person wants to sing, then it's not worth it to me. And I just felt like this is something that people would love to say to people. It's like, I could be your medicine. I'll give you a taste of what you give out.
This new record you have, Medicine, that we just world premiered,
Yes.
French Montana, who is also from the Bronx, South Bronx.
Yes, he is.
You've also embraced Cardi B, another young person from the Bronx in New York. How important is all of that to you as a New York native?
It is, and the thing is like, I just gravitate to him. Like, I just loved French when he came out, and I was just like, oh, I want to work with him. Same thing with Cardi. Like, I was watching Cardi when she was still working in the clubs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On Instagram. And I was like, this girl, something about this girl, you know what I mean? And then when she started doing music, I was like, oh, okay. And right away, I was like, I want to do something with her. We got to do something together. Now we did a record together, and now we're doing a movie together. And, listen, you gravitate to what you know, what feels comfortable, what feels good.
That's right.
And they feel good to me.
Yeah.
They feel good to me because I know that. That's what I grew up with. That's who I am at the core. So, Jenny from the block.
How do you normally find French Montana?
He's so he has a very mellow vibe, which I love, and he's all about like the Bronx and everything. And so like when I'm with him, feels like
home.
Uptown Bronx, yeah. No, I'm gonna put this vibe on it. He always throws some throwback little beat. Yeah. Whenever we do a record together, he always goes back to like one of those horns or something that really brings it back to like how we grew up, which I love.
Which shout to your team for knowing that bringing the horns back around J-Lo is a mood that we need.
Here's the thing. It's like, for me, I don't know if you guys have been to my shows, but that part, that funk, that kind of like beat, those instruments for me, really as a dancer, that's what makes me move. Like when I get there with my band and I'm like working on the show or whatever, it's like these are the rhythms that we play.
Yeah,
so they live deep inside me.
That's
like
that salsa,
Brown.
that's that uptown, that's that funk, that's that brass, all of it together.
All of it together, that percussion, that brass, all of that just lives inside my blood. So it's like there's never like a time that's not going to be an influence of mine.
Of the records that we've had and these singles that you released, is this all going to be a part of a project coming up?
I started doing a Spanish album a couple years ago, and then as I often do, I pivot out of things and go to what is in front of me. And so I don't have a plan to put out a Spanish album right now. I know I've done a few singles like the Bad Bunny one and the different ones that we've done and we talked about. But my next album will probably be with a movie that I'm doing, a movie and an album. We
got to talk about the passing of Selena, right? Because there's an anniversary, just to refresh people's memory. Right, of you taking on that role, and
I was young. I was 26 when I played Selena, and she, I don't think I even knew now, like that we were talking about it 20 something years later. I knew she was important at that time, but she became such a legend, which means when she was alive, she would have been a legend. You know what I mean? I didn't realize at the time the responsibility that I had. Almost that ignorance was great because all I wanted to do was like do her memory at that moment justice.
Yeah.
As good as I could do it. And I just soaked up everything I could, every video, everything she had done, every interview. I watched everything, every home movie that her family gave. I slept in her bed at home. I went, and slept in her, at her sister's house and this and that. I talked to the whole family. I really spent time with them. And it was a beautiful, kind of very melancholy experience. Something
it's
can
heavy.
It can be melancholy and beautiful at the same time, right? And so it was a beautiful time in my life. It taught me so much, even about just life. Like life is fragile, and we have to like you say, smell the roses. And maybe that's the theme for today. But it's definitely taught me so much, and she taught me so much about how to navigate this business, just by learning how she handled things, because I had to play it in the movie, and I'm like, oh, that's how you do that. Oh, that's how you do a record. Oh, that's how you act with the press. Oh, that's how you do this. You know what I mean? And so it was a beautiful blessing for my life on so many levels. And I'm just happy that the movie brought her to a new audience, and people can kind of always go back. Now you can reference her videos and stuff all online, but if you want to see the story, you can see the story, and it's memorialized there forever. So we can talk about it 20 something years later.